gang? Hey man, another video with a ton of gold nuggets. Make sure you watch this one to the very end. If you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and send this to somebody who needs to hear this sooner rather than later. Also, if you haven't done so already, jump into the CLG community, 7-day free trial. Basically, you have nothing to lose. You get to test it out. You get to build your foundation, learn female nature. Everything, all of my work is inside of that community, and that community also gets more perks than anybody outside of the community will ever get. Yeah, man, just lock into that. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the video.
What are you trying to do tonight, bro? Bowling or something? Like, come on.
Lie, bro. It's a boys' night out. Let's go to the club on some shit.
Bucket club?
Let's go hundreds at the strip club.
Strip club?
Yeah,
yeah, throw them ones. Hell yeah, bro.
The hoes calling.
Oh yeah, who calling?
It's my
yeah.
bitch. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
No, bro.
Wait,
Nah. That just killed my fucking day, gang.
Wait, what are you upset for, bro?
My girl, she always trying to see me, bro. I'm not trying to see this bitch.
Bro, that's your girlfriend, though. What?
Fuck, gang, hold on, bro. Can I have a sense of privacy and have some time with my boys? It's always you. Leave me alone before I leave you. I break up with you. She might cry.
Oh, she here, bro. That's your girl.
Hey, chill. Nah, I'm public. I told you about that touching shit. I told you about that touching shit.
Yo.
You good, gang? Hold on. Hey, chill. That's the homie spot tonight.
Oh,
all right, sit in the back.
Wait,
Come on,
wait. You don't want your girl to sit in the front with you?
Oh, fuck no. No way she's crying right now.
Bro,
I told you about this crying shit in public when I'm with my friends.
Bro, stop.
You chose to come. I was gonna have a boys' night out.
Oh my god.
Fuck!
Bro, stop yelling.
Always coming out on my boys' night out when I'm trying to have fun with my homies. See me nothing. You could have seen me when I was home.
Oh my goodness.
Go before I break up with you.
Bro, Lincoln. Yo, what the fuck?
Bro, that content creator, bro, that dude is funny for real. I did want to play that because obviously it's a skit. So obviously he's over exaggerating, you know, what really happens and stuff like that. But there are guys out there that like just genuinely, don't like their girlfriends. You know, it is what it is. Here's the sad part, and here's the truth. A girl would most likely be obsessed with a guy like that, opposed to a perfect guy who adores her. In 2025 and forward, and probably, I mean, well before, it's always been this way, but now we're bringing a lot more attention to it, especially with my channel. I'm exposing it all. I really just don't care. You know what I mean? Somebody did write in one of my comments and it's like, CJ, you got to stop giving this information, you know, to so many guys because, you know, we got to let the 304s, you know, take over and let the guys that shouldn't be reproducing, let them die off and all this stuff like that. Like the stuff that you're teaching, you're giving guys that are, you know, that shouldn't be able to access women, the ability to be able to access women outside of their league or on their level by teaching this type of stuff. And my response to that guy is, well, that's why I came to the internet. like how you gonna tell me to like leave the internet for the reason why I came to the internet? That doesn't make any sense. I came to the internet to make guys elite. Now, whoever becomes elite, I don't care. I don't care that they used to be, you know, a lame and then they became elite. Like, if anything, I got more respect for those guys. You know what I mean? Because they had a longer journey to travel and they understand what it was like being on the other side. For example, I showed you a clip of Tupac. When he was on the other side, when he was more feminine, women never wanted to give him a chance. He becomes more masculine. Now women are obsessed over him. You get what I'm trying to say? So what I try to tell people is I just try to get people the right mindset so they're going into it with the right energy so that they can, you know, get the results that they want long term, right? So this is for all my long term thinkers. This is for all my guys who think long term and who, you know, really want to live an enjoyable life and are tired of being depressed, or tired of being lonely, or tired of, you feel me, going through the things that the average man goes through in today's world. Tired of being lied to by content creators telling them that they themselves are not enough. They must have money, they must have height, they must have muscles. All of those things help, but it doesn't mean that's what you must have. Average guys hook up with very attractive women consistently, more so based on how they act than what they have. So a guy like this skit that I'm telling you about, he would actually get more out of a woman opposed to the guy that is obsessed with his woman. Now, the guy who's a good man for her and puts her on a pedestal, loves her, cherishes her, and cares for her, a girl like that would still want to go back to her, what they would call toxic ex. The reason why I don't want to call it the word toxic, or I don't want to use the word toxic, is because if you use the word toxic, a lot of people, it will shut their brain down and it will stop them from learning. So the reason why derogatory terms can affect people, unlike myself, right? Derogatory terms don't affect me. I just Google the word, right? I'm very simple. If somebody calls me a womanizer, I'll Google it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that describes me. I'm cool with that, right? They don't affect me. They don't stop me from learning. Does that make sense? But what derogatory terms do for a lot of people is once somebody calls somebody a derogatory term, their brain shuts down. For example, you know what I mean? So many people, when I was talking about the Charlie Kirk situation, I called him a racist because that's what I believe he is, right? But so many people's brains shut down after that point, like because it was a derogatory term that that's all they focused on. He's not a racist. He's not a racist. Let me tell you why he's not a racist. Sir, he is a racist. Okay, now that we get past that part, now let's talk about, you know, some real stuff. I'm not saying that I don't like him. One of my best friends was a racist. One of my best friends in college was a racist. But he was unapologetic. He's from Florida. So Florida racists tend to be a little bit different. They tend to be a lot more unapologetic. You get what I'm trying to say? They shoot you straight. I have more respect for that person because I don't see that person as a coward, right? I rather a person like myself. I say, hey, I might be a womanizer. You know, the definition looks like it fits me, right? I don't see, you feel me? Like if somebody came out and they said, hey, you know, that definition fits and they was honest, they was genuine, whatever case is, I see that person, I have respect for that person because I don't see that person as a coward. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never been a coward before. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say there have been situations where me just knowing human psychology, you know what I mean, that there have been situations where I had to lie, where I felt like that was the only motherfucking option, right? In that situation, I was a fucking coward, right? There are situations where I just like, man, let me just tell this girl what the fuck she need to hear. You know what I mean? I've done that in my past. I'm not going to sit here and lie about the shit. So I'm not just going to say that, I mean, we humans, bro. Like, let's be real. Like, everybody has had a wide spectrum of things that have happened to them and things like that. But what I've learned, what I try to do is I try to learn from my mistakes of the past in order to make myself a better person of the future. Does that make sense? So I've learned from my past mistakes what happens when you obsess over women. I've learned from those past mistakes what happens when you obsess over women. And the results, I didn't like them. I'm just going to be honest with you. Then when I stopped caring about women, I liked those results. So I just stuck with what I like. You get what I'm trying to say? I stuck with getting the results that I like. Now, if women actually want us to go back to actually caring about them, then they should reward the guys to care about them. They should reward the guys that care about them. And guess what? We'll go back to caring about them again. Does that make sense? And what I mean by reward is reward them with some pussy. Like, let's stop acting like let's stop beating around the fucking bush, right? Because no guy who cares about her wants to be rewarded with her fucking friendship. No guy who cares about her wants to be rewarded with her presence. No guy who cares about her wants to be rewarded with stories about her hooking up with other men. But while she's not fucking him. See, I can hear a story about her hooking up with another man if I'm fucking too. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. If I'm fucking too, after I hit, I can hear, I got more patience for 80-20. You can tell me about all the niggas that did you wrong. You can tell me about all this shit. You can tell, I don't give a fuck. You get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm hitting too. But no guy wants to be the guy who truly cares about you, truly obsessed with you, listening to how you got ran through by everybody else, but he can't even motherfucking taste the pussy. He will taste it. I don't even eat pussy like that. But he can't even smell the fucking pussy. You get what I'm trying to say? And you gotta understand, those guys that do care about you, they actually do want to eat your pussy. A guy like me, I'm selfish. I get head. I don't eat pussy. And girls come hard as fuck. Now, there are rare case scenarios where if it's a really, really, really pretty pussy, or if I'm in a really freaky little mood or some shit like that, I might lick on the pussy a couple times. But that's about it. I'm shooting you straight like I always do. I'm hitting you right between the eyes in these goddamn videos. You know what I mean? Learn something. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is what I do. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do what women actually respond to. Let me repeat that. I do what women actually respond to. That's what I do. You get what I'm trying to say? I don't do what women say they like. See, when a woman talks, I hear the words that they're saying. Like, they're like, oh yeah, so, you know, this, about, like, I hear what they're saying, right? I hear the words that they're saying. But here's the difference between me and most men. I don't listen to shit they have to say. If you listen to women, you're gonna be in a trick bag. And what I mean by that is, if a woman is giving you instructions, the Bible even warns you against this. This is crazy. If a woman is giving you instructions and you follow those instructions, you follow a woman's instructions, whatever relationship that you think you have with that woman, if you keep following her instructions, it will come to an end. Trust me, if you keep following her instructions, maybe you can get away with it once or twice, right? Maybe you can get away with it. And it's not following her instructions if it's something that you wanted to do. Like, so don't get it so twisted to, like, let's say like you want to take this girl to a movie that you want to see, but like she suggests the movie or whatever the case, you be like, hey, I know that you like this movie. Like, I don't want guys to get caught up into the no, let's watch another movie just cause, like, you know what I mean? Because you really don't want to watch that other movie, but you just don't want her to, you feel me? Like, you don't even want to take her suggestions. Let me tell you how a true leader operates, right? Because as a man, that's what you are. You're a true leader. Because I'm trying to give you some nuance, because I don't want you guys to get so caught up into the overly masculine, you know what I mean? Overly setting boundaries just to set them, and you know what I mean? Because that's not good either. What you want to find is, you want to find a sweet medium, right? You want to become a great leader, right? And as a man, you are a leader. That's what you are. To a woman, you are her leader. To a woman, you are a king. But let me tell you what a great leader does. A great leader is open to hearing, not listening, hearing suggestions. If none of those suggestions please that leader, the leader will say, however the leader wants to say it, thank you for the suggestions, but here's where we're going to go, and here's why. Right? Thank you for the suggestions, but here's where we're going to go, and here is why. Does that make sense? It's always going to be what you want it to be, but it's going to be what you want it to be on your terms. Does it make sense? But if a suggestion comes that actually is better than your idea, and you know it's better than your idea, a great king can put their ego and pride aside and be like, no, I like that suggestion. I'm gonna, yeah, matter of fact, that's a good suggestion. This is what we're going to do now. Now that I have that new information, this is where we're gonna move forward now. That is a great leader. You get what I'm trying to say? A great leader is not a dictator / we do this, we gonna die doing it, whatever the case is, even if it's you know what I mean? Every great leader still has advisors. I'm talking about the great leaders. I'm not talking about the horrible leaders that ran their countries into the ground, right? The ones that dictate. There's a bunch of countries that are trash right now because they have some very horrible leaders. I'm not talking about the horrible leaders that ran their country into the ground. Their country ain't worth shit. They LGBT. I'm not talking about those leaders. I'm talking about the leaders that actually their countries thrive. You get what I'm trying to say? A great leader, a great leader, they always have advisors, because they always know. Because this is the thing. Even as a man, you have to put your pride aside and understand that groupthink is sometimes better than individual think. And what I mean by that is if you all know the goal, right? You all know what it takes to achieve the goal, right? At the end of the day, when you're coming up with a strategy, and it depends on who you surround yourself with. Great leaders surround themselves with advisors who are extremely well-intentioned and extremely smart. Now, here's the difference. If you're surrounding yourself with trash women and all of their suggestions are always trash, and every single time you have to do it your way, eventually, I get, everybody's in a different stage in their life or whatever case, unless you just like trash women. If you like trash women, and you know how to handle them, and that's your demographic, and you're really good at handling, the trash, and you can turn trash into goddamn treasure, then you keep doing your thing. I'm not talking to you, right? Move to the beat of your own drum. But for the guy who's dealing with trash, but he's only dealing with trash out of necessity because his skill set isn't quite where it needs to be before he can transition into dealing with higher quality women that he likes, that fit more of where he wants to do, then if you're dealing with trash, you might have to not even open it to suggestions. You get what I'm trying to say? If you're dealing with a trash woman and she's gave you several suggestions in the past and all of them were horrible every single time, after a while you don't even let her talk no more. Like not in a bad way, but just like, I'm just not open to those suggestions from you anymore. You know what I mean? So instead of even asking, you just basically tell her what you're gonna be doing, right? You know what I mean? Hey, this is what we finna do. Hey, we finna go here. No, we finna I'm gonna pick you up. We finna do this. Matter of fact, just come through. You know what I mean? Sometimes trash women you really don't want to do nothing with. You literally just want them to come through. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it ain't nothing more than what you feel me? Really, sometimes you just want to get a nut from the trash ones. You know what I mean? Now, because you got to understand, some of the women that I've been dealing with, they suggest me things that I liked it so goddamn much, I take other bitches there. like I be like, yeah, damn. Because I remember this one girl I was dealing with, and I got a mean ass sweet tooth, right? And I was like, man, I need something like, and she's like, what type of sweets you like? And I was like, man, I need I like ice cream with something warm. She said, ooh, she's like, I know a spot. She's like, you like warm, like a cake kind of thing, or like some kind of pie or something with ice cream? I was like, yeah, man, that's usually my spot. She said, oh, I know a spot that got that. You feel me? And she said it got a warm cake and they put the vanilla ice cream next to it. I said, all right, bet, let me try that. Man, I went to that spot. Man, that shit was so motherfucking good. Every bitch I think about getting dessert with, I take them straight to my spot. I don't even give them an option. I say, hey, we finna head right over here. Head over there, and they like the motherfucking ice cream with the shit on the side too. But that's what I mean by like a great lead. Sometimes you open to suggestions. You feel me? You know what I mean? Sometimes you open to some goddamn suggestions. But the woman that I was dealing with, she wasn't trash. Nice little class. It was my spot. You feel me? It was a spot that I looked like I should be at. You know what I mean? And everything was, I say, God damn, boy. I never knew this spot existed. Now, probably a man in her past probably showed her that spot, which I don't give a fuck. You feel me? All this means is she fuck with classy niggas. You know what I mean? She must be fucking with some classy ass niggas, because not everybody can afford a spot like this. You know what I mean? This ain't your average run of the mill spot. Yeah. So, and if you guys in the CLG community, you want to know the name of the spot, just DM me. I'll give you the name of the spot. You know what I mean? Especially for my guys who make a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Who have a little bit of extra money on the side where they can actually enjoy the slightly finer thing. It ain't crazy. You feel me? Like, it ain't no 5-star like restaurant, no shit like that. But for the guys who got a little bit extra money that they can enjoy the finer things in life, you can always send me a DM. I can send you the spot. But back to the topic at hand. Going back to the video that I just watched, that guy in that video who act like that, even though it was a skit, has a higher chance of getting his girl obsessed with him, opposed to the guy who does everything that she says, or opposed to the guy who does everything quote unquote right according to the media. Girls run away from good guys like the plague, right? You have to understand how the girl mind works. She gets hit on all the time since she was like probably 14. So because she has so many perceived options, it can be overwhelming. So what she has to do is she has to get really good at weeding guys out. What that means is she has to put filters. For example, when I did an apartment search online, it was like 4,000 apartments, like 4,000 searches. Like I put Dallas area, some shit, like Texas or whatever, and it was like all these apartments. So I had to do so much weeding out. I was like, all right, it has to be this many bedrooms, has to be this, has to be this, has to be in this location. Like I had to weed out so much of it, and then I got down to a smaller list that was manageable, like to 10. And then out of those 10, I got it down to 2. So, but then out of those, when you get down to your final 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all of those spots are super nice because you did so much filtering. So when a girl does get down to the guys that she likes, in her opinion, these guys are guys in her eyes, because she weeded out the thousands or the hundreds or whatever that was trying to hit on her. She personally weeded it down to these guys that made her criteria. So what I tell guys is, if you made it to that criteria in her eyes, you are a guy. But here's the thing where guys mess it up is if they don't see themselves as a guy, they fumble it with the girl that sees them as a guy. Does that make sense? So if you aren't CLG, what you're really doing is you're fumbling every opportunity that you could have maximized on once you perfected the CLG process. That's it. You get what I'm trying to say? You're just fucking up every opportunity that you could have maximized on. Right? Now, you're not, and if you're really talented, you can get some of your maybes into yeses, not all of them, because sometimes the girl won't give you enough of time to win them over. Now, me personally, I feel like if I have enough time around a girl, I feel like I'll win her over guaranteed. But if it's just a cold approach and I say hi and this bitch look me up and down and turn her back on me and I say hi and she just gives me the hand, she not giving me no time to win her over. It's like there's no way I can turn it into a fucking maybe. What I'm gonna do? Fucking chase her around? I'm a stranger to her. It's not like I'm gonna keep seeing her in a work environment or keep seeing her every day or she frequents the same place every single day. But if I was in a work environment or when I was in college, there's girls that I've knocked down that said no to me the first 2 to 3 times I hollered at them. But I know myself is they don't know me. That's why they saying no. They don't know me. They just seeing me. They judging me by a book of a cover. They see me average height. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't, I'm not the most ripped. I'm not the most cut. I'm not none of that. They're seeing an average guy. My teeth is somewhat straight, except for the bottom ones. They're somewhat straight. You know, hygiene is on point. But they don't see that shit. All they see is I'm not the 6'3" motherfucking guy in their goddamn magazine or the 6'2" guy in their magazine. So they're not even giving me a chance right away. But I know that if I can hook this bitch, if I can get a inch with this bitch, I know it's damn near over. If I can hook this bitch, I know how to get that girl through the process so goddamn smooth. I mean, my percentage is increased by so much when I get them through that goddamn process. I don't even know what even percentage to put it on. Now, if I can't hook them initially, ain't nothing I can really do. So that's why I want to let you guys know is you got to understand that yes, it is going to be a numbers game to an extent. But what happens is when the guys aren't CLG, they fumble the girls that see them as gods. They fumble those girls, right? Or they fumble the girls that they won over with their personality or some shit like that. They fumble all of those girls. These girls are fucking going. And they fumble those girls, right? Now, when you're first starting out, you're going to fumble those girls just because your skill's not there. But here's the thing. On the process or on the journey to getting the skill, yes, you're going to run through a bunch of ups like I did in the car business. You're going to run through a bunch of leads. And you're not going to close at a very high percentage. But once you pop, and yes, it's going to hurt you. Yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. When I was in the car business and I started popping and I was consistently selling 20, 30 cars a month, And I remember when I sucked, and I was like, oh my God, like it hurt you, like it keep you up at night. You like, oh, I sucked. I was bad. Like, and you start remembering like all the other guys, like if you just would have stuck to the process with them, they just would have bought. And you'd be like, holy fuck, I left so much money on the table. But it's a part of your learning, like, curve, because you kind of learn what not to do too. You know what I mean? Like when you just out running and gunning and fucking getting a bunch of rejection, and every now and again you get laid, you also learn like, shit. You also learn what not to do when you go through all that volume. But a lot of the times it takes the volume in order to understand what really works. Because if a top guy was to talk to a guy who hasn't taken no volume and he's telling him all the secrets, he has nothing to refer it to. He has nothing to refer it to. He can't pick up on the nuances. He has no idea what this guy is talking about. You know what I mean? When I say lines like slow is smooth, smooth is fast, a guy who never talked to a fucking girl a day in his life wouldn't even understand what the fuck that means. What do you mean slow is smooth? What does that mean? I feel like if it gets too boring and da-da-da. You won't understand what that means because you're not in the field. You know what I mean? You won't understand that, you know, sleeping with a girl with a boyfriend or a girl that's married, that those girls tend to have the most wild, craziest orgasms in your life. You won't understand that shit. A lot, because they won't tell you that they have a man, or at first sometimes, a lot of times they won't even tell you that they married or have a boyfriend. So a lot of times if you catching a girl and she is just over the top screaming, waking up, like she just doing the most, like the noises she's making, like she's waking up the neighbors type stuff, she probably is in a committed relationship. If she coming that hard, she's probably in a fucking committed relationship. You know what I mean? If she's at your crib and she can't fucking help herself, she's doing something she shouldn't be doing, which to a girl is a turn on. See, this is why the very first video I showed you, this is why they're more attached to that guy than the good guy. Because in her mind, she's dating somebody she shouldn't be dating, which is actually a turn on to her. But you guys think it's a turn off. And you guys be like, I can't believe she's dating him. She could do much better and blah, blah, blah. See, her hearing that turns her on about the guy. Her friends not liking him turns her on about him. Her family not really rocking with him turns her on about him. But you think it turns her off. Because the way women's minds work is, you gotta fuck their mind before you ever touch their body. If you can really fuck a girl's mind real good, you don't even have to do nothing extravagant in the bedroom. You already got her mind. 80% of a woman having an orgasm is actually mental for them. And a lot of guys, they do not understand that. A lot of guys think that women are like us. Everything is physical, physical, physical. I gotta hit the G-spot. I gotta do this. I gotta rub on the clit. I gotta lick on it. I gotta do this. I gotta make her feel good. 80% for a woman is mental. And a lot of guys do not understand that. Women love selfish men. They love guys that move to the beat of their own drum. They love guys that can make things happen. They love guys that are just real, raw, and authentically their masculine selves. They do not like the watered down version of the guy that the media has turned him into. He senses that you're a watered down version of yourself because of the media, and you're not your true masculine dominant self that she knows that you can be. It turns her off. Does that make sense? She does not want the watered down version of you. She wants that real, raw, hard, what they call it, concentrate. That's what she wants. She wants it straight out the goddamn can. She wants it straight out the packet. You get what I'm trying to say? She wants it real, raw, uncut, authentic. Don't be ashamed of who you are. You know what I mean? Don't be ashamed of being a man. The whole world will try to shame you. Trust me. They will. They will be so emotional that they can't change you, that it will make their brains break. I've had women have full emotional breakdowns because they've tried to change me And they couldn't do it because women are way more controlling than men, contrary to what they say. They could not do it and their brains broke. Like, I can see their brain breaking because they want me to be somebody that I'm not. They want to change me so bad to be a pussy. But the fact that I won't break, they would break before me. And here's the crazy thing. I've had girls mentally break. And here's the thing. They broke because they couldn't change me. Think about how narcissistic and controlling that is. And then they call you the narcissist. Think about this. I can break a woman by simply just sticking to my beliefs and sticking to my guns. And because I'm sticking to my beliefs and sticking to my guns, and she can't change my mind, her brain will break because she's so used to so many pussy guys changing their mind for her because they want something from her, that when she finds a guy that she can't fold or break, she's the one that breaks because she's become narcissistic and controlling, and she feels like her beauty is wearing off because it's not working on you. But after her little fucking brain breaks and she realizes that she can't control you, there's a thing that happens after that, which is called respect, which leads to admiration, which leads to love, which leads to her becoming obsessed with you. So if you're not used to getting girls obsessed with you, you might need to jump into the CLG community sooner rather than later. The guys that are the best are the guys that join every live Q&A Friday and Monday at 6 p.m. Those are the guys that are the best in the group most of the times, right? And we got some hidden superstars in there, but the guys who, whether they join the live Q&As or they watch all of the recorded live Q&As, those are the guys that tend to be the best when it comes to women, hands down. So jump in, 7-day free trial, really nothing to lose. Test it out for 7 days. See if you like the program. If you like it, you know what I mean. Stay signed up. It's only $48 a month. And I give you unlimited, when I tell you unlimited content to level up. Unlimited. And it keeps adding. I keep adding. And I'm not going to stop anytime soon. You understand where I'm coming from? Unlimited. So, like I said, man, if you haven't done so already, man, lock into the CLG community, 7-day free trial. You have nothing else to lose. Link is in the comment. Link is in the description. Link is everywhere. And with that being said, man, I'm out. Peace.